Ole Miss fans need a hotel for the game weekend? Many OTAs keep all the commissions, but at Fan Plans, you still get your loyalty points, receive direct confirmation from the hotel, and you support Rebel Grove. Visit fanplans.com/Rebel Grove today.
Welcome into another edition of The Butcher versus the Spin Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. I'm Neil McCready. That is the ice cream eating man himself, Greg Jones. LB's Meat Market. They're here in Oxford, I should say. And then Campbell McCready back in Fayetteville. She's with Zen Studio, back in Fayetteville after a week or so in Oxford, getting ready for final exams and Christmas break and all of those things. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving outside of the football games that did not go the way that most of the people here on this show hoped they would go. So we'll talk about those games. We'll look ahead to championship week throughout college football, and we'll talk about a lot of different things. First, I want to talk to you about LB's Meat Market 2008, University Avenue in Oxford. It's right across the street from Kroger. Let Kroger be your landmark, and then head across the street to LB's. It's getting to be Christmas time. You can call, you can place your orders ahead of time for whatever it is, beef tenderloins or standing rib roast or what else, Greg?
Brisket flats would probably be a good, or a crown roast.
Pork
roast where you could do that. Yeah, that standing rib roast. Wow, I did one the other day. I literally I looked at it. I was like, I want to take this home and eat this. Like I felt like it, it looked that good, which it seems like every steak I cut, always I want to take it home, but I get to give my steaks away to good homes. So, but yeah, we'll be open this weekend. Back in the saddle, and Thanksgiving holidays, we took a break. Took a couple of days off. I got to play golf and played the quiet game and drank too much alcohol. So I think it was in that order. Just back ready for the Christmas holidays.
Campbell, how was your break?
It was good. It was relaxing and uneventful, which was needed, and just a good break.
Okay, you've got weekend plans this weekend. We'll talk about those a little later. You're headed to Nashville to see an old friend for the weekend. Kind of a relaxing weekend here, I guess we're expecting. Although, hey, congratulations to the U.S. national team. They'll be playing the Netherlands on Saturday morning. U.S. beats Iran on Tuesday, 1-0 to get out of the group stage into the knockout round, which for those of us who have developed a appreciation for soccer, this is awesome. It's kind of fun. It's fun to see so many people cheering for the U.S. soccer team on Tuesday. That was a lot of fun. All right, guys, let's get to
I watched the first 25 minutes. I was like, all right, so when do we start pressing the panic button? I'd like to get one before the half. I don't want to do this 0-0 at the half and, press this thing, because they were pressing. I mean, you could tell that Iran was in the shell and they were trying for the draw. But, U.S. got a really good team. They pulled it out. It's a great game.
Christian Pulisic put his body on the line for that goal. No one can question him ever again in terms of his will, his desire to win with an American uniform on his back. That was awesome. It was exciting. It was a lot of fun. All right, let's get to the games. Greg, you continue to just dig a hole, and it's getting deep. You went 3-10 last week.
I feel like Rippy
in rivalry week. Yeah.
Sorry, Rippy. I mean to be like that.
Campbell, you went 6-7. So Campbell, you are now 65-67 for the year, which is 8 games ahead of Mr. Jones. Greg now 57-75, beginning to get in trouble. You're in the trouble range.
I mean, you got to keep the 6-7 things going, and then go 7-3. So 3-10 is not a good lick for a week for sure.
Yeah, you can't afford another 3-10, which is good this week. You won't go 3-10 because there's only 10.
Well, I changed the ice cream up. I went with strawberry this week, so hopefully that's the angle.
We got a scientific angle there. All right.
Well,
So
chocolate definitely didn't work last week.
what we'll do here, as much as it's unfair maybe to Campbell, it's more fun for the competition, is we're going to let Campbell pick first all day today and let Greg choose whether to gamble or when to gamble and how much to gamble. So, in that way, if Greg closes ground, good. If not, Campbell begins to smell the LB's cup back in her grasp after losing it. After she won it year one, she had it ripped from her grasp in year two with a dominant performance from Greg. And then this year, both of you seem to just it's a battle of attrition in year three.
Well, I would think for the 3-year record, Campbell's definitely got me beat. That's for sure. I'm kind of like Ole Miss football. I get up here and then I get down here real easily. So it just happens like that with sports.
All right. No Ole Miss this weekend, no Arkansas this weekend. So you guys are picking with your heads and not your hearts. So here we go. We start with the Conference USA championship game on Friday night. It's in San Antonio. It's North Texas versus University of Texas at San Antonio. The Mean Green of North Texas, Campbell, are an 8-point underdog this game at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio.
Well, I didn't know who I was going to pick until you just said that, so I'm going North Texas.
All right, Greg, she's going to take the Mean Green and the 8 points. The Roadrunners had been cruising until last week, and then things got a little shaky for them. They won, but it was close. But they lay 8 points at home in a
I'm going to stick with the green angle. It's too good. The green angle is too good. Even though I did get her with my one win, I think Oregon State was my only win last week that I thought I did good.
That Oregon State-Oregon game was fantastic. It was a great football game. All right, we stay Friday night. Campbell, we go to the Pac-12 championship game. This is in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. You probably flew over Allegiant Stadium when you were in Vegas earlier this fall. Gorgeous stadium. Great place to go to a football game. It is 12th ranked Utah versus number 4 USC. The Utes, Campbell, are a 3-point underdog against the Trojans.
I'll go with USC. I don't have an angle here, but just going to go with that.
You went USC last week, I think, and they were good to you against Notre Dame. Greg, she shook it up because she normally went Notre Dame, and last week she said, no, I'm going to go USC, and it worked out. So she's going to go USC again against Utah.
I'm going to go Utah. I'm going to play. Hopefully they play the spoiler. It seems like they always like to play the spoiler. So I think hopefully it's a field goal game and we both get a wash.
Utah beat USC earlier in the year. Kind of did it in dominant fashion. Whether they can do it again remains to be seen. USC playing really well right now. All right, we switch to the Saturday games. It's the Big 12 championship game. It's at AT&T Stadium there in Arlington, Texas. Another great place to go to a football game. Campbell, you've been there a couple times now. It is 13th ranked Kansas State coming off that impressive win over Kansas. They play 3rd ranked TCU. This game at 11 a.m. on ABC. Kansas State, Campbell, is a 2.5-point underdog. Full of purple here. So it's purple versus
full-blown purple versus purple.
Well, I was going to go with Kansas State. I've used the I don't like frogs angle. But my roommate, her sister works for TCU for their football program. So, and she was there last weekend. So I'm going to go with TCU this time.
Now, which roommate is that?
Bobby.
Okay, Bobby's. Okay, yeah, Bobby's.
I use Bobby for a lot of angles, the Tulane angle, and now the TCU angle.
That Tulane coming up later in the picks. So you're going to go TCU and lay 2.5. A huge national game here, Greg. Alabama, Ohio, both watching this game closely, cheering hard for the Wildcats. What about you?
I'm going to go with I like the Frogs. I like TCU here. I think, they've kind of been underrated all year. And, why is it Sonny Dykes in for Coach of the Year candidate? So I'm going to go TCU here.
Okay. Interesting. I kind of like K-State in this game. But you might
be a really good game. I mean, a good game to watch for sure.
Be a really good game. Another game that fewer people will watch. It's the MAC Conference Championship, the Mid-America Conference Championship at Ford Field in Detroit, 11 a.m. on ESPN. It's Toledo versus Ohio. Toledo, Campbell, is a 1.5-point favorite. against
I've never heard of Toledo, but it sounds cool, so we'll go with them.
Oh, okay. Hey,
Maybe
listen,
she didn't know Ohio was green in the Bobcats, right?
that's probably
Oh,
the
they're
first
green.
time. Yeah, Ohio's green. That's probably the first time that Toledo's ever had someone call them cool. That's
I think they
probably
play in
like,
the
I like
Class
this
Bowl. I think that I mean, if they ever broke up into conferences and did their own separate thing, and not go with have their thing, I think I'd be a Toledo Rocket fan.
Okay, so you're gonna go Toledo as well?
I like Toledo, the Rockets.
Okay. All right, so you're both going with the Rockets.
I mean, that's the most degenerate game of all time, right there. I mean,
yeah,
there's somebody that's going to be glued to the TV fourth quarter, like wanting the under or the over for sure.
yeah, that's a gamble. It's a gambling game. All right, it's the Sun Belt, which has had a great year. The Sun Belt Conference, no joke, has had a fantastic year. There have been a ton of good teams in the Sun Belt. These two are going to play for the title. It's Coastal Carolina at Troy. This game at 2:30 on ESPN. Campbell, Coastal Carolina is an 11.5-point underdog against our buddy John Sumrall and the Troy Trojans.
I'll go with Troy.
All right, Greg, Campbell's going to lay 11.5 here with the hometown Trojans, who are red.
Didn't James Madison beat them last week? Or aren't they in the same conference? Or they couldn't play for the title?
James Madison may have been the team that beat them earlier in the year. Troy opened the season at Ole Miss and lost.
Yeah. Okay.
And since then, they've gone 10-1. They're coached by former Ole Miss assistant, former Kentucky assistant John Sumrall.
Okay, I'm gonna go Coastal Carolina because they're green.
They're green too.
They're kind of aqua, kind of an aqua marine colored team. The chancellor there is Michael Benson, a friend of mine. So I've got friends either way. I can be happy either way here.
Mm-hmm.
Campbell's like, I didn't know you had that many friends. Fair. All right, it's the SEC championship, the league that we talked about all season long. It's 11th ranked LSU, number 1 ranked Georgia. This game 3:00 CBS, Mercedes-Benz Stadium there in downtown Atlanta. Campbell, LSU is a 16.5-point underdog.
I'll go with LSU.
Wow, I'm shocked. All right, Greg, she's going to take LSU in 16.5. There.
I think she's taking Georgia like every week.
She's very consistent with Georgia, so she must know something.
Is this game is at LSU?
No, this game's
it's
in Atlanta in the dome. It's a neutral site game.
Georgia, Athens.
I'm sticking with my LSU.
Okay.
All right, I want to take Georgia. Hopefully, I can get a game here. It should be a good game. I mean, LSU's playing good.
They did. They just got smoked in Texas A&M last week. They kind of
I mean, they might have just looked forward and they knew that LSU they could have lost the game and they still could have won the West, and kind of rub it in Elvis's face, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. All right. You mentioned Tulane earlier. Tulane is playing host to UCF. This is the American Athletic Conference championship game. Tulane ranked 18th in the country after the win at Cincinnati on Friday. They play host to John Rice Plumlee and UCF. This game's 3:00 on ABC. Tulane, Campbell's a 3.5-point favorite.
I'll go with Tulane.
Got the Bobby Conway factor going there.
Bobby Conway
and
angle
Green.
again.
And Green.
Yep.
And I know you like New Orleans. All right, she's got a lot going here with Tulane, Greg. UCF getting 3.5.
I'm going to have to take John Rice Plumlee in the Knights and just hopefully ride his little sneakers to victory here.
This should be a hell of a game. Really should. Should be a good game. Another degenerate game. If you're watching this game instead of the others either got completely out of hand or you have a gambling addiction. This is the Mountain West Conference Championship game. It's Fresno State and Boise State. The game is in Boise, Idaho. I'll be in Boise in 2 weeks, freezing my ass off after losing the stupid bet with Tyler. It's Fresno and Boise, 3:00. You can see the game on Fox on the blue field there in Boise. Campbell, Fresno State is a 3-point underdog on the road in Idaho.
I don't know. I'll just go with Boise State. I don't know.
All right, she's going to take the home team on the blue turf, Greg, and lay 3.
Were y'all kind of smart about the bet? Had y'all already like bought the tickets and the plane tickets and everything, and just whoever lost was just going?
Yeah, the
loser
freezes. It was close for a while, and then no. I mean, listen, this is all Lane Kiffin's fault.
I agree, man.
This is totally.
I had a customer come in today, and he asked me, he's like, "How do you feel about Lane Kiffin right now?" I was like, it's like skating, walking on eggshells. Or I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest. I had a system down where each week I prepared for the games that we picked. And 2 weeks ago, when everything went to hell in a handbasket, I spent that day on the phone, distracted, working. I didn't have a chance to go. Nick Saban's right. Let me just tell you this. Let me tell you all this. Stop a minute. Nick Saban's right. It is about process. We get so result-oriented that we don't focus on the process. Well, I got away from the process. It's Lane Kiffin's fault, not mine. He distracted me. I had to work on whether he was going to Auburn, whether he was not going to Auburn. Was he happy? Did his family want him to stay? Was it about money? Did he think one place had a higher ceiling than another? All that stuff. Well, it took
camouflage.
He took me away from my process. I had 2 bad weeks. I went from winning to losing in 2 weeks. And so when I'm freezing my ass off in Boise, I'm tweeting at him going, "This is your fault." And it is. It's totally his.
I mean, I got the same way. I literally put a sticker over the lane train, and like people came in like, "Oh wow, so what are you going to name?" I mean, like I literally got sidetracked, and I didn't trust the process, and I got fed the poison, and that's what happened.
These are first world problems, but they're real. And I had to order thermals today. I got to figure out different ways to try to stay warm. I've been starting to watch the extended weather forecast in Boise. It's not particularly friendly. It's highs in like 30. Luckily, it's a day game. I gotta hope that there's like long lines to the restroom and I can go warm up standing in a restroom. I'm left to plan like looking forward to standing in a restroom in Idaho 5 days before Christmas. Now, how's that not Lane Kiffin's fault?
That's the most Lane Kiffin fault ever.
I mean,
but hey, he's still here. Yay!
It's hard. The red zone offense sucks, and so does his planning in terms of the road to Boise. And so, is what it is. I mean, at some point he'll have to make it up to me. Now, I will say that he's been really good to business for the last 6 or 7 days. So
that's trust me. I can definitely agree with that. Like I said, whenever I put that piece of paper over lane train, I was like, but we've come so far, like we were like 1 foot in the ground, and I don't know, man, it's tough, but we push through, that's what happens. And you have to be resilient.
Exactly. You have to be resilient.
That's the most American thing I can say is, Americans are resilient, and, that's the type of people we are, and we're just going to be resilient.
I agree, Greg, completely. All right, Greg, Campbell's taking Boise. She's laying 3 points.
I'm going to go with Fresno State. I actually probably should go and hang out with you at this game. It sounds like punishment for me being so bad this year.
Well, I mean, I can hook you up with a travel agent, and you can meet us there in Boise, and you can stand there and freeze with me.
Well, that sounds like a good vacation to me, for sure.
Doesn't it sound great? My wife is thrilled that I'm going to be gone to Idaho so close to Christmas. She's really pleased, really happy. She.
I mean, I can try to fill in if you need help. I'm not really good at family stuff, but I mean, I can try to at least poke a grill or something like that, or bring some steaks.
Okay, I mean, she might take you up on that. All right, we go to the Big Ten championship game, Campbell. This is at 7 o'clock on Saturday nights on Fox, Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. It's Purdue versus number 2 Michigan. Michigan blew out Ohio State in Columbus, Ohio last week. Michigan, Campbell, is a 16.5-point favorite over the Boilermakers.
I'll go with Michigan, I guess.
Yeah, Not a bad pick. They looked dominant last week. Greg, she's going to take the Wolverines, lay 16.5 against.
I'm going to go for a little letdown. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it might be a 14-point game in the fourth quarter, and probably Purdue doesn't get the touchdown that I need for the cover, or Michigan gets it. So I'm hoping for a little letdown. But yeah, Michigan looked really good the other day.
They did. They looked great. All right. Last one, the ACC championship game. Clemson coming off a loss to South Carolina. How about that? How about that? Shout out to Shane Beamer and the Gamecocks. Finished the season with big wins over Tennessee and Clemson to wrap it up to go 8-4. Clemson, 7.5-point favorite versus North Carolina. This game, 7:00 on ABC, Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. North Carolina, Campbell, what do you think?
I'll go North Carolina. I like their colors more.
All right, Campbell's going to take the powder blue and white of North Carolina and get 7.5 points against Clemson. What do you think, Greg?
I'm gonna have to agree with her. I like the powder blues too. I mean, Clemson kind of reeling. They kind of were up in that game and just kind of fell apart. So maybe Dalbo's looking at another job. You can report that.
Yo, how about that?
You heard it from the ice cream man. He got a text from his horse trainer that's friends with Dabo, and yeah, we'll start that.
How about that? Little scoop.
Dabo's looking for a job, especially when North Carolina beats him.
Little scoop here on the Butcher versus Spin Instructor, based out of got horse racing circles, got some college football circles. Hey, look.
Well, you know why you should have asked me about the whole Lane Kiffin deal. What was Juice going to do? I mean, do you think Juice was going to go to Auburn?
I mean,
it's a dog. He's a serious ordeal. It's a dog.
I mean, what would happen if Juice encountered the Eagle? Because Juice is a Labrador Retriever. Labrador Retrievers are like, everybody's my friend. They think everybody's their friend. He would have walked right up to that Eagle and been like, hey, what's up?
And a dog, and he's not going to get along with that damn cat. That's for sure.
No.
Especially when he wears those stupid outfits. That's terrible what he does.
Yeah, I mean, poor old Juice
dressed up like an astronaut the other day.
Again, Lane didn't think this thing through. You know what I mean? I mean, you got your Labrador Retriever that you've been working so hard to train, and now
you need to come into LB's and look at the Lane Train Special and realize, like, hey, look, why do I need to leave this place? I need to put this to bed. Let Neil win this competition, so he doesn't have to go to Boise, Idaho.
Or if he has to go, he doesn't have to go so cold.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm disappointed because I feel like I helped Lane get the job in the first place 3 years ago, and there's yet to be any, like, real payback. Any real, I don't know, just thanks. And to do what he did, and then what were you going to do with Juice? I mean, Juice would have much preferred to go to LB's and have a Lane Train Special than he would.
With his Juice stick.
Yeah, then he would have to go to
a flying eagle.
A big eagle that's going to come up to him and try to pick him up and carry him off to someplace where he can eat him. Just you got
to think about the big picture here. Like, money is not the thing. We need to concentrate on our dogs and our family members.
Yeah, you do. All right, LB's 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. Again, freshest cuts, steak. I should say beef, pork, chicken, fresh seafood. The jalapeno, the stuffed jalapenos, the stuffed mushrooms, the bacon wrapped asparagus. There's so many other things each and every week. The hot dogs, the house-made sausages. It's all there at LB's. And if you're thinking about getting your Christmas dinner plans to go, it's not too early to go ahead and call Greg and the people there and get that reserved. So you can take that off your worry list and enjoy your holidays. Greg, if they want to get in touch with you guys, how do they do it?
Yeah, always call the store, 662-259-2999. Yeah, there should be some holiday season plans coming up, and I can make it real easy. And all you got to do is give me a time and when you want to pick it up and what you want. I can get it taken care of real easy.
Campbell, what do you have planned this weekend?
Like we said earlier, I'm going to visit my friend that lives in Nashville, and then I got some Kaio stuff on Sunday, and that's about it.
Greg, what about you? You gonna be just working?
I'm gonna be LB's meat market this weekend. I feel like I took a couple of days off, so I need to get back and it's a slow time this year. The kids left and after the football, and it's it's almost like us locals get our town back for a little bit. But we're just going through the motions. And if there's anything anybody needs, always call the store. I get my orders on Thursday, so always call the store Wednesday for Thursday, and I get you taken care of.
Awesome. All right, we'll take next week off. Take us a break. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll start looking at the early bowl games. We might even pick up an NFL game or two as we get going into the bowl season, into the NFL playoff season, which is right around the corner. Hard to believe. Hope everybody enjoys holiday weekend. A lot of people, this is the weekend coming up that they put their trees up and all that stuff. So if you're doing all that, have a great time. Be careful. And we look forward to talking to you again in 2 weeks on The Butcher versus the Spin Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. For Greg Jones, for Campbell McCready, I'm Neil McCready. Take care. Talk to you soon.